So here's the programmable logic controller that I have set up to control the ventilation and mining power in my miner room. So here's a temperature display. This is a graph over time. This is a current temperature. This indicates the status of the miners, whether they're on or off. This is the status of the smoke detector. It's got a smoke detector. And then this resets the smoke detector if it goes off. And then here, this is the cooling system. So we've got a slow, medium, and high speed fan, and it has an evaporative cooler, so this is a water pump. So if the temperature is between 35 and 70 degrees, when I turn this on, it'll turn the fan on to slow speed and just maintain that. Now if the room temperature starts heating up, I got my hand on the RTD. So the room temperature starts going up at 70 degrees, the fan shifts to medium, and then at 75, the water pump for the evaporative cooler turns on, and then when it hits 80, it'll shift into fast speed. Now it's in fast speed. Now if this temperature keeps going up to say 110 degrees, we'll simulate 110 degrees with a heat gun here. At 110 degrees, you'll see the miners turn off. It opens the mainline power for the PDUs, for the miners. There we go. So now it's turned all the miners off. They lose power completely, just like if there was a power outage. And then if I cool this back off, I got it hot. You see my temperature graph goes up. It takes a temperature data point every minute for the graph. So you can see it kept the fan running and high and the pump on while the room is cooling off, the miners turned off. Now the 110 degree set point is just some arbitrary number that I came up with. I could totally make that any temperature I want it to be based on experience once it's going. You like my little animation up here? Anyway, once the temperature gets down to 85, you'll see it should turn the miners back on. Again, the 85 degree number was just an arbitrary number. I figured I can go in and program that differently if I experience different. Now it should turn the miners back on. And there you go, that's how it works. Now, I also have this integrated with a smoke detector. So if the smoke detector senses smoke, it'll turn the miners off and it'll turn the ventilation system off until I come in and hold this reset button. So it locks in until operator action is required to reset it. This is inside the PLC cabinet. It's kind of a mess because I've got stuff in process. So here's the smoke detector. It's also got the comms cables plugged in right now. Let's see. There we go. So with the programmable logic controller, it gets its power from 115 volts, comes in, goes to a 24 volt power supply. This is power distribution for the 24 volt side. This is the programmable logic controller itself and the RTD module. So this is the CPU and RTD. And then over here we've got the relays that are controlled. So slow speed, medium speed, and high speed fan control. The water pump for the evaporative cooler. This relay is the relay that turns on and off the miners, and then this relay cycles power to the smoke detector if required, or after a smoke event, that power has to go off for the smoke detector to reset. And then down here, these are our mainline contactors. These relays are capable of doing up to 10 amps. And these relays are capable of doing 40 amps. So this one controls the high-speed fan because it uses the most power. And then these are the 4 outputs for the miners. So each one of these is a 40 amp contactor. So when it turns on, contacts close and energizes the PDUs. And then, if the programmable logic controller turns it off based on temperature or smoke detector, then they break the power for the PDUs. So the miners lose power. But that's the RTD. That'll go in the room somewhere. I'll figure out where I want to put that. I can use up to 4 channels of temperature with this particular RTD module. RTD is resistance temperature detector, or resistive temperature detector. But anyway, that's something that I can set up for anyone if they're looking for some automation for their mining rooms. Again, this is kind of a fancy system. I've got the 7-inch HMI there. Got it programmed. I can pretty much make this setup any way I want it to. I just chose the temperature graph and then the temperature in the room and stuff like that. I figure the graph will help me dial in the set points for the fan speed control and all that stuff. Anyway, that's it.